Hey there. Today we're going to practice a powerful meditation which allows us to receive the blessing of freedom that comes with forgiveness. Forgiveness is the ability to let go of negative emotions which are associated with people, decisions, or past events. These emotions, of course, arise as a means of our mind advising us and attempting to help us take the right course of action or response to something. But sometimes these emotions remain longer than they are needed. We've already learnt the lesson. We've already made the skillful, appropriate responses to that circumstance. And they're relics or warnings which are no longer needed. The fire has long been put out, but the alarm is still sounding. Other times, the emotions are so strong that they get in the way of our correct response. There's a calling to do things to make sure that we don't experience the same thing again, or to advise or protect others so that they don't go into the same circumstance. The emotions, however, are so strong that they actually get in the way of us being able to act and make a response that brings the best outcomes for everyone. Sometimes there's a different circumstance. The emotions are occurring and they're not needed. It's actually a situation that we couldn't do anything about, or we didn't understand enough to be able to respond appropriately. It may be that the occurrence just happened aside from us and was nothing to do with our decisions or our actions, and that we responded just right. But confusion and association has brought up emotions which are getting in the way. In this meditation, we are going to experience a complete release. We're going to forgive on all levels, letting go of any of these emotions which are no longer needed. In order to take part in this beautiful practice, you need to find a position that you will be comfortable in for quite a while. You may have a specific meditation posture you enjoy using and are well practiced in. If so, it's time to adopt that posture now. Alternatively, you may choose to lie down in a position where you will remain comfortable and alert for the whole of the exercise. Either way, align your body and let your mind align with it. Just let all things rest. Notice how when your body is relaxed, your breathing starts to naturally slow. How just being still relaxes the body, makes the breathing deep, long, and gentle. Let this process continue and amplify it with your attention. And maybe you start to notice that when you breathe out, each time there's a feeling of relaxation and release. Perhaps you can almost feel that this forgiveness process is starting to happen already, as if with each out-breath you're letting go of any of the feelings that are no longer needed. Perhaps you've been carrying around resentment, anger, frustration, embarrassment, regrets, sadness, despair, whatever the emotions associated with past events that weren't the way you would have wanted them to be. As we continue through this exercise, with each out-breath, you can let them go. So let's start with a firm resolve that that is what's going to happen. It's time for forgiveness and for you to let go of anything that's been holding you back. These emotions all call for your attention. They divide your focus. They have their own plans which sap energy from what you want to do. Letting go of those emotions will free you to achieve excellence. Letting go of those emotions is a certain way for you to be able to use your full potential. Now, deep within the mind, there must be a reassurance that by doing this, you remember the lessons and you do not condone any actions or wrongdoing, but rather seek to create good as a response to them. Take a firm vow that within this exercise you will let forgiveness be complete. Let go of the emotions and keep the lessons. So first and foremost, I'd like you to move your focus to simple things which have wronged you in life. I'm talking about clumsy, accidental things. Whether it was a person who didn't know their strength and hurt you. Whether it was a unfortunate thing when someone dropped something or broke something of yours. Whether it was a thoughtless word in the wrong place, whether it was a animal or an animal-like person who just bashed into you, who just walked over what you were doing, who hurt you thoughtlessly through ignorance, through bad coordination. In this section, you can imagine chance events like this, where you were just in the wrong place and something silly happened that hurt you. You can imagine how upset we can all be at this misfortune or about the thoughtlessness of others. Of course, with compassion, we understand that the thoughtless person is sometimes us. We're the one that steps on something. We're the one that breaks something. And this can be used to aid this release, this understanding that mistakes happen and unfortunate things happen. But most of all, the understanding that these emotions are no longer needed. If there are lessons to be learnt, to be more careful of these clumsy chance events or thoughtless people, we've certainly learnt them. Breathe out, and breathe out any feelings, any emotions, any automatic thoughts, anything that is no longer needed to do with this kind of event. And as you let all that go, just feel your whole body relax and move to focusing on the next area. Let's imagine times when ideas or plans have been presented to us. Let's imagine dreams being created which weren't real or weren't productive. Perhaps there was a time when someone used an idea or a dream of yours to manipulate you or lead you down the wrong direction. Maybe there's a time when someone genuinely believed something so strongly that you tune into this and you went along with it, and it really wasn't a good thing. Perhaps there were times where you read something or you heard about something. Perhaps there was a misunderstanding. Let's focus on all the times when illusion, delusion, deception, where false promises, false ideas were created in your life by people, by organizations, by misunderstandings. Let's leave all those who deal in deception, in false dreams, in glamour, let's leave them to their own illusions, knowing that these illusions punish them as much as they do others. Leave them, let go of them. Did an organization, did a group, did a movement, did a philosophy ever misuse the images that can be created in your mind and others against you? Was anyone ever moved and misdirected? Did it cause division? Did it cause confusion? Whatever circumstances where stories, where ideas that have attraction got in the way, disrupted, divided, hurt, confused, or ruined things. Perhaps you can look at external events that actually got in the way of good ideas. Was there a circumstance where someone disempowered your genuine dreams? Was there something that stopped you following an idea or a dream that you had? Let go of all these emotions. Cut through to the truth. Regain your true vision of the future. Sometimes when there are emotions associated with some of these circumstances, it's because part of us still believes. Someone talked to us with such convincing terms, or made us think something was going to happen so much, or blamed the inappropriate results or failures on us or other circumstances. In that web of confusion, we don't quite know what the truth was, or when we were involved, or what was really going on. You could spend too much time in life trying to decode the confused, trying to convince the deceitful to be truthful, trying to talk the mad to be sane. It's time to let go of the puzzles and the confusions. Let go. Leave it. And move to our next contemplation. It's time to forgive all the words that have hurt you. All those who used words against you, said words thoughtlessly. Perhaps we can remember certain words that still echo in our minds. They could have been said just once, could have been said many times. Perhaps it was thoughtless or in anger. A person's emotions overwhelmed them and they said something so hurtful. Perhaps the words were repeated in order to have an effect. Let go of those words and let go of the feelings about them. Your thoughts depend only on your own will. Let go. Maybe these words weren't from an individual. Maybe they were from a group. Maybe they were from a movement. Maybe these false words were used to sell you something, to get you to buy into something, to get you to do something. Maybe these false words sowed confusion and distracted you from what you are meant to be doing. Let go of it all. When you let go of the feelings, you can let go of the words. Let them float away. Let them go back to their source. Let go of all these miscommunications. Clear the mind uncluttered from the missives of those with poor intent or poor understanding. Maybe words were not utilized to their best ability. Maybe there were things that should have been said that weren't said. Someone didn't say something that needed to be said to you. Someone didn't say something that needed to be said to someone else. Someone didn't intervene. Someone didn't speak up. Let go. Breathe it all out. Now, during this process, sometimes specific examples will just pop into your head. Sometimes, maybe there'll be an event, a person, a word, a phrase, something that appears. That's wonderful. It's just a sign of everything just being cleared out, being released. Other times I will give specific examples, as I have been doing, for you to contemplate on. And maybe your mind won't find anything to present to you, but be reassured that these messages are going deep inside, making sure that mind knows to release all the associations, all the resentments, all the outmoded feelings in each area we cover. And now let's talk of the mind and move our contemplation to that of knowledge. Are there times in the past where you lacked knowledge or you had the wrong information? And this was due to others, or due to circumstances, or due to groups of people, or due to laws, or ways things work, due to the circumstance of your birth. Did something give you a misunderstanding? Did something make you ignorant? What about knowledge from others? Did people misuse their knowledge? Did you trust someone in authority through their perceived superior understanding? Perhaps someone pretended to be more knowledgeable than they should have been. Perhaps opportunities for knowledge were missed. Whatever circumstances that arise that stopped you learning, whatever people got in the way of your full understanding, whatever figures of academic, intellectual or spiritual excellence that turned out to be false, or turned out to be limited, or made terrible mistakes. Let it go. Let go of all the resentments to do with learning, whether it be times at school, times at college, university, wherever you learnt, wherever you were meant to learn. Let it all go now. You can forgive because you decide to forgive. You are in charge of what's going on. And move your mind to our next subject of contemplation, that of love. Were the people that couldn't control their love, who hurt you because of it, were the people that shouldn't have loved you and need to learn their lesson? Were there circumstances where love controlled you, or love was used to control you? Are there missed opportunities of love? Are there times when you couldn't do things for people that you did love, or other things or animals that you really cared for? Did you love the wrong people? Or did you get so close to someone that their problems really hurt you? has there been too little love? Did love not come when it should have? Perhaps events, people, or circumstances got in the way of genuine love. Let go of all of this. Empty your hands. It's time to put a line under all these past events. Let love for goodness, love for harmony, love for yourself and love for genuine positive people be stronger than any of this from the past. You learnt important lessons, you do skillful things to improve things based on what's happened. Let the rest go. Now move your mind to our next area of contemplation. Was there a time when your light shone so bright that others sought to extinguish it? Was it too strong for their eyes? Did those who felt intimidated or inferior seek to compete with you in cowardly, underhanded ways? Were your talents underutilized by those who could have helped? Were there opportunities that you needed some assistance with? Did someone else get the chance that would have been better for you? Have circumstances or organizations or people or poor decisions or chance events got in the way of your artistic, creative, or talents of any form being expressed? Release the ability to be wonderful, to shine brightly by letting go of any of these associations. These negative emotions are a cloud before your light. Clear away all the darkness. Polish the lens so that you can shine beautifully as you should have done and as you are to do. And with this freedom, allow yourself also to think of times where brightness was too much for you. Were the people who you didn't get a chance to fully experience the goodness from, and you have regrets or resentments to do with this? Perhaps there are times where people outshone you. They used their talents, they used their brightness, they used their brilliance in a way that got in your way. They were too much. They made you think they were brighter or bigger. They suppressed your freedom with their talents and with their glamour and luminosity. Perhaps they made you and others think they were more than they were. Let this form of narcissistic dominance disappear. Let those who work in this way work alone and free the space to invite those who are genuinely as excited about your success as they are their own, who know that brightness in another does not detract from themselves, but rather can unite to make everyone more empowered and brilliant. Allowing good allies to form around who enhance you and support you. Allowing genuine figures of excellence to be role models, teachers, figures to emulate. Let go of the darkness to embrace the light. And now move your attention to our next area of contemplation. I'd like you to think in terms of aggression. Were people angry, violent in any way? Did they wage war against you or those you love with injustice, with negative intention? Did those near you sometimes fight wars that weren't real or attack you from confusion? Did scared, weak people launch preemptive attacks against someone who had never hurt them? Did someone goad you and you overstepped yourself and your anger took control? Did you get pulled into wars or battles that weren't your own? Were you caught in a crossfire and you're angry about that? Let go of a need to fight for the sake of fighting. Let go of resentment for those who attack thoughtlessly or willfully. Let go of any resentments, any regrets, any sadness which has been caused by battle, by competition, by futile struggle. Leave those who wish to take part in such things in the past, so that you can be empowered, so that when called upon, you can authentically protect yourself and those who deserve such protection. Allow all these negative feelings to go, so they give you a clear, precise focus, allowing you to achieve excellence through harmony in each and every moment. Let go of those who seek dominance for the sake of it, competition for pride. Allow all these wounds to heal. Take the weapons that may still be hurting you and throw them away. Forgive. Truly forgive. Let go of the battles that are not yours and trust in natural justice. Feel that release of extra energy, extra will from everything that's happened. Feel that sensation in your body as your mind becomes more focused, and move your focus with that extra force behind it to our next subject. Think about objects. Think about status. Think about clothes and food and all the things people wish to have in the world. All the material things. Were some of these ever taken from you? Or were you prevented from having them? Did they get destroyed or stolen? Were the opportunities missed because of others? Other things you miss? Did you make any mistakes? Or do you not feel you have enough? Did others get moved by these things and their greed bashed them out of shape and made them respond in ways they shouldn't have? Breathe all this out. These feelings are being released, allowing you to see joy and value in small, simple things. Resentments and envy and jealousy, these emotions clutter up our feelings and our interaction with all the goodness of the material world. As we take on too much of this, it means we can't experience or appreciate like we used to. We go back to our childhood and we can remember when small things were so good. Let go of any of the false ideas that have been sown to do with objects, sown to do with status, and look to reality. Appreciate the simple by letting go of any of these negative associations, any regrets from the past, any losses. That's good. And now really hone in on that idea of status. Were there authority figures that misused their position? Were the people that stole position from you? Were the mistakes that took you away from where you should have been? Have rulers let you down? Has society hurt you? You function freely of all this. You can just let it go. And now move your focus even further. Were there any of the inherent hardships of the world that really affected you? Illness, despair, emotional instability, mental illness, loss of loved ones. Do you have any guilt or resentment around these things? Maybe some of these circumstances, some of these occurrences were outside the control of people and caused them to act in strange and unneeded ways. Maybe it was you that was overwhelmed by certain things. Maybe you're just plain resentful and angry that these things actually happen in this world. Perhaps you're just angry that you're trapped in this body which gets old, gets ill, is subject to risk. Maybe people you really care about have gone, or terrible things have happened. Take all this emotion, take all this resentment, take the regrets or despair or sadness, or even that sense of cutting off when everything just cuts off because you don't like how it is. Take that, let go of it, give it back to the universe. And don't worry about releasing all this darkness out into the world. Let that darkness go, because you know that nature lives from what we see as waste. Trees grow from dirt. The flowers that float on the pond make it pure. They thrive on what we would see as mud. Just let it all go. Lighten the whole of your being. Let joyful hope come back in, knowing that you are the spark of light. You are the goodness that makes the best of all circumstances. Re-embrace that sense of having a gift of a body. The joy of the time that you did spend with people who may have gone. The moment that you have with someone now. Use this all to value what we have. Once again, let go of any darkness about the hardships inherent in life. And now finally, we're going to move just beyond this. Perhaps we could imagine this form of forgiveness as the brightest and lightest of all. It's as if all the contemplations that have gone before us are included in this. It's like a beautiful white light. You can imagine this white light perhaps at the top of your head. You can imagine it streaming through your body as you send good intentions to all of this. As if the highest aspect of yourself is offering good intentions that come with forgiveness. You want everything to turn out best. You are going to forgive on all levels, or the events, or the people, or the decisions, or the occurrences that have caused any negative regrets or responses. This light shines down through all the things we've mentioned. You wish to be able to release yourself so as to be able to be a force for good and harmony in the world. You wish for all involved to learn their lessons. You wish for everything that is negative to grow up into something which is positive. Resolutions, lessons learnt, the same things are never to occur again. Let this light wash throughout the whole of your body. It clears away everything that needs to go. Feel this beautiful light settle in and become invisible. Now move your mind back to your breathing. We're coming to the end of our meditation now, and the intention is locked in on all levels. As time goes on, this sense of freedom from forgiveness will naturally keep unfolding. Sometimes your deep mind will remind you that this is taking place. Some chance event from the past may just occur to you. Some certain person may reappear in your mind. This is just your whole being working with the process and letting it go. Perhaps you may have some suggestions occur as to things you could do to improve circumstances or find resolution to things from the past that have occurred. You will look at these with compassionate good intentions and decide what skillfully could be done, being assured that in often circumstances the best course of action is to do nothing, but to work on building goodness and harmony in the world. If, however, there is a skillful, thoughtful, measured, safe response to something from the past that you can undertake, then this you can do if you should so wish it. As time goes on, you will notice how free you have become and how much more energy, mental and physical, you have because of this. Let this be a blessing to yourself and others. And now it is time for you to take that deep breath and notice how your breathing is starting to go back to normal. The body knows that it's time to draw the meditation to an end. Perhaps you can move your limbs slightly and bring yourself back to the here and now around you, knowing that your good work has been done. This is the conclusion of our exercise in forgiveness. My name's Martin Folks, and I hope that this guided meditation has been of use to all those who wish to let go of unneeded negative emotions from the past in order to fully embrace and bring the best outcomes to the present. Until next time, let's let every word, thought, and action count.